Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our feature for the month of July.
Doo-doo-doo.
And, maybe some of you are spending time outdoors, which is good. But some of you, of course, are probably afraid of the heat.
That's me.
You can't take the heat or whatever. So you'd rather spend time indoors. And, well, yeah, of course, you're probably playing with your phone most of the time. But some of you might actually be giving yourself the challenge of having a game of weiqi, or Go, as they call it in Japan and in the rest of the world. We refer to this game as Go, whereas here in Taiwan, you say weiqi.
Weiqi, yeah.
Weiqi.
I've never played it before. I've seen it being played. Sometimes if I'm walking past a park, I'll see, a couple of people, in front. In front of them have that, the board has all these lines that intersect, and they've got all those black and white pieces, and I think, oh, they're playing that game. Yeah. And I always think, yeah, I don't have any interest in it. I don't like chess. I don't like checkers. I'm not really one of those people who's interested in that. But I was reading about it earlier, and it sounds like if you're just playing for fun, it can go from 20 to 90 minutes. But if you're serious and you're very competitive, sometimes a game of Go or weiqi can last, up to 16 hours, which is kind of insane. Or maybe an hour to 6 hours if you're just, pretty good. But if you're in a competition, people take that very seriously.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things involved with that. Lots of mathematical formulas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Strategies. And, of course, there are even schools that specialize in teaching this stuff.
Wow, crazy.
So
fun.
But if you really want a challenge, hey, you should try the noble game of Go or weiqi. So that's the subject for today's lesson. Let's get to it. Let's find out all about weiqi or Go. Let's read the entire contents of our lesson right now. Two people sit at a table, each wearing a look of intense concentration. Beside one player is a bowl of white stones, all flat, smooth, and round. The other player's stones are black. Between them is a square board painted with 19 horizontal lines and 19 vertical lines. Black and white pieces already occupy many of the places where the lines intersect. These people are playing Go, an ancient game that has been entertaining people for centuries. No one knows just how ancient Go is. According to popular belief, the game was invented by Chinese Emperor Yao in 2300 BC. He is said to have devised the game as a way to teach his son Danju discipline and concentration. The first documented evidence of the game is found in Zhuojuan, making it at least 2,500 years old. At the time, the game was called Yi, but later became known as weiqi. In China, Yi was seen as a game for nobles and scholars, though simple stone boards have also been found, suggesting that ordinary civilians enjoyed it as well. Go's popularity grew, and it spread to Japan from China in the 7th or 8th century. Just as in China, it was especially enjoyed by the nobility. Warlords played as though their pieces were soldiers on the battlefield, thus sharpening their battle skills. The greatest players were rewarded with money, and special schools were set up to train players for national tournaments. From Japan, Go spread to the Western world, and professional competitions are now held in several countries. People now play Go on the internet, and the game is more popular than ever.
We're going to talk about the noble game of Go. Noble can mean two different things. It could mean someone who's very honest and has a lot of integrity. Oh, he's such a noble person. Or, that's an adjective, guys. But if it's a noun, if someone's a noble, it means they're part of the aristocracy, they're part of royalty. For example, a king or a queen, they're nobility, they're noble. Here it's the noble game of Go. I guess it could be both things here. We've got two people who are sitting at a table. Each one of these people are wearing, each one is looking or wearing a look of intense concentration. Oh, they're really concentrating. If you look intense, it looks like you're very serious about what you're doing. And if you're intensely concentrating on something, you don't want other people bothering you or disrupting you. Typically, when people take a test, they're using a lot of intense concentration skills to try to remember what they've studied. So if something's intense, it can be that there's a lot of strong feelings involved, or maybe there's an extreme degree or strength that's involved. Sometimes, some of the work we do requires intense concentration or intense work. And sometimes it's a little more casual. But this particular game that we're describing has two people and they look like they're very serious about what they're doing.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the pieces here. Beside one player is a bowl of white stones, all flat, smooth, and round. Okay, I don't think they're actually made out of rock, but we do call these stones in this particular game. Stones, they can be white or black. So these are flat stones, which means they can lay still on the table or on the board.
Lay flat on the table, yeah.
And they're also smooth. They're not rough.
They won't roll.
Yeah, they won't roll away, and of course they're round as well. I think you all know what these pieces are like. And of course the other player's stones or pieces are black. Now between them is a square board painted with 19 horizontal lines and 19 vertical lines. So of course if you want to play a board game like chess or checkers or Monopoly or whatever,
Risk.
You're going to have a game board or Risk, yes, or Clue. I think that's still around. But in any case here, yes, this particular board is quite simple. It's got 19 horizontal lines and 19 vertical lines. And horizontal means going left to right, and vertical means going up and down.
Yeah, black and white pieces already occupy many of the places where the lines intersect or cross each other. So if something intersects with something else, it crosses. When we're driving a car or riding a scooter outside, you'll come to an intersection where two roads or streets cross. That's an intersection. But if lines intersect, again, they're just crossing. When I look at the board without the stones on it, it just looks like a board with lots of squares, where those lines are crossing each other. It's kind of cool. And if you're occupying a particular space, that's where set up. You're filling that space or you're taking up a space. Sometimes when I get on the bus or the MRT, I really want to sit down because I'm tired, but there are people already occupying all the seats. So people are already sitting there. So I can't sit down until someone gets off. So yeah, if it's occupied, you'll often see the word occupied on a plane. If you want to use the restroom, go to the bathroom. You can look up and the light is lit red. If someone's inside it already, it'll say occupied, which means someone's using this. You can't go in.
Right, so a lot of these intersections of the lines are occupied by black and white pieces. So I guess we could say that the game is underway, and these people are playing Go, an ancient game that has been entertaining people for centuries. Of course, here in Taiwan and in China, you know this game as Weiqi, and in Japan, it's known as Go. And since Western countries had more contact with Japan in the past, we use the Japanese word go. Although I think the word Weiqi is catching on. More and more people know about that. But most people refer to this game as Go. And I did want to tell you what the kanji is for that, but it's a weird character, so we'll just skip that. But in any case here, yes, it's been entertaining people for lots and lots of time. Hundreds of years, and entertain here as a verb just means it makes your life fun. It entertains you. A movie can entertain you, or somebody telling jokes can entertain you at a party.
Yeah, so it has been providing a lot of amusement or enjoyment for people for centuries, hundreds of years. Entertainment is the noun form. Entertainment just includes anything that people enjoy doing for fun. Some types of entertainment include, concerts with your favorite band, shows you can go see at the movie theater, or maybe you like musical theater or opera. Maybe you like to go see a ball game for entertainment, like a baseball game or a soccer game. Lots of different types of entertainment. And these things have been entertaining people for a long time. So Go's been around forever. We're calling it ancient, which means it's very old. So moving on to the second paragraph, it says, no one knows just how ancient Go is. We're not quite sure. It's so old. People probably weren't keeping records back then as carefully as they do today. So we're not really sure when it first began. We just know it was a long, long time ago.
Yeah, and it's really, really simple, just a board with lines and then black and white pieces.
Seriously.
So, but unfortunately, though, it's much more complicated than that when you actually play it. And according to popular belief, the game was invented by Chinese Emperor Yao in 2300 BC. So, of course, as you know, when you study Chinese history, you talk about the different emperors that ruled China during the different dynasties in China. You know, the Ming Dynasty, the Qing Dynasty, the Tang Dynasty, etc. And they all were ruled by emperors. This particular emperor was named Yao. And I guess he invented this game way back in 2300 BC, which is many thousands of years ago. Okay, that brings us to the midway point. We'll talk about Emperor Yao in just a second, but right now we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 我们今天要看的是第16单元。好，我们要谈的是围棋。大家知道围棋的英文是什么字吗？没错，就是 Go。那围棋说它是一个 noble game， 从标题看起来，为什么它是一个 noble game？Noble， 你可以说它是高贵的，当然也可以说它是贵族的，所以这可能跟围棋发展的历史有那么点关系。我们就来看一看。好，首先呢，谈到下围棋。下围棋的时候，你可能就会看到他第一段所描述的这样的状态：两个人坐在桌子前面，表情非常的专注。好，看到这一边提到 two people sat at a table， 逗点 each wearing a look of intense concentration。这个逗点，当然我们知道前后这两个地方的逗点隔开之后，后半句当然不会是完整句，因为没有连接词，所以说会变成了分词的结构。而 each 这里指的是这两个人各自如何，所以前面是 two people， 后面的 each 你要保留讲的是个别各个，而 wearing 这是一个 V-I-N-G， 换句话说是一个现在分词。当然如果我们要把它还原，把它的结构看得出来的话，那就是你本来讲的前后两句是 two people sit at a table and each wears a look of intense concentration。 好 A&D 我们不要 each不同的主词，所以保留后面的动词 wears， 我们就变成了 ing 主动语态，用现在分词，这样就变成后半是一个修饰语，分词的修饰语。好，来谈完结构之后，后面我们知道，当然下围棋就是像这样，不过围棋的两人中间是有一个 square board，a square board， 但是我们注意一下句子的结构。Between them is a square board。 这个结构呢，其实大家有没有注意到这是一个倒装句呢？没错，在英文里面，如果说你呢把一个表示地点的这样子的片语，像是 between them 这个放在前面，好，这个地点的副词性的东西放句首，当然主词到底在哪里？主词是在后面这里，你整个句子看起来就像一个倒装句。比较简单的像这种类似的句型就是Oh, here comes the bus。 好 here, there 跟这边的 between them 都是一样的，你把 代表地点的副词放句首，后面主词动词颠倒。好，我们再来看看中间白的是一个方形的板子。我们谈完这个围棋这个下围棋，当然这个可由自古以来就已经存在的，大家乐此不疲。我们先看下面这边，他就说到底围棋有多久了呢？说起来可能是在中国的皇帝尧，也就是说帝尧的时代就有了。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about the noble game of Go. And actually, it is noble in terms of being invented by nobility, aristocracy, and emperor. Of course, would be seen as someone who is noble. You know, a pretty important person. Chinese Emperor Yao, we learned, who was alive back in 2300 BC or 2300 BC. I think foreigners would tend to say 2300 BC, so just be aware of that. We like to say it the fastest way possible. He is said to have devised the game as a way to teach his son Danju discipline and concentration. Yes, that's a smart thing to do if you can use a game to teach your kids some important principles. And discipline and concentration are both very important. If you devise something, guys, it just means you come up with a way to do something. So he devised the game, or he invented the game. So it's another way to say invent. It also can mean that you're planning something that's very complex. Maybe you have a procedure or a system, and you've sat down and figured out a way to really implement that system. You can devise a way to teach people how to use it. Well, he invented the game as a way to teach his son Danju. Maybe Danju is pretty, he liked to play a lot, didn't pay attention to his dad, was always trying to goof around. Goof around just means to play when you should be working. Goof off, we'll also say goof off, G-O-O-F, goof off, or stop goofing around. My mom would say that to my brothers all the time. So what does discipline mean, Tom?
Discipline. My goodness, you talk about that in the military. Basically being able to obey rules and follow the proper code of behavior. So, of course, you need to have discipline in the military. Otherwise, if you go out there and fight the enemy, you're all going to be in big trouble without any discipline. So, yes, his son probably may have been spoiled. Maybe the emperor, he was a powerful guy, so the kid thought, hey, my daddy's the emperor, I can do anything I want to. But he said, no way, son, we need to discipline you to become a proper person. Maybe you're going to inherit the throne someday. So he invented this game as a way to teach his son how to be disciplined and how to concentrate. Now, the first documented evidence of the game is found in Zhuojuan, making it at least 2,500 years old. So that's an ancient book. And, of course, they found some kind of description of this game in that book. So it's documented in this book. So it's documented evidence. There's some passage there, some writing there that says, yes, indeed, this game did exist. Who knows? Maybe there's even an illustration in that book showing the board and the pieces and stuff like that. And so they can prove that this game has existed for over 25 centuries.
Craziness. So at the time, the game was actually called something else. It was called Yi, but later became known as Weiqi. So the name has changed over time. In China, Yi was seen as a game for nobles and scholars. Nobles would be those lucky people who just happened to be born into royalty. So they had an easier life. The scholars were the people that were allowed to be educated. Not everybody received an education back then. So we're very lucky today in modern times to be able to, get a good education. So the game was for them, nobles and scholars. Those simple stone boards have also been found. Some that aren't so fancy, perhaps, a little more rustic or rough. That they think that ordinary people were using. We're calling them civilians. A civilian is someone who is not in a nation's military service. They're not part of the government. They're just ordinary people. I'm a civilian. Tom's a civilian. But if you work for the government or you're some politician or even in the army, you are not a civilian.
Right. We could also call these people ordinary citizens.
Yeah.
Just the common people, maybe peasants or workers or something like that. Hey, they didn't work all the time in the fields. They had to have some fun.
Hopefully.
And so they probably made their own boards out of stone here and used little rocks or something to play the game. So this suggests that everybody was playing this game from the nobility to ordinary civilians.
Cool.
Now, in the next paragraph here, it says, Go's popularity grew and it spread to Japan from China in the 7th or 8th century. So popularity is the degree to which something is popular. The popularity of smartphones grew about 10 years ago or so, and now everybody has one. So, of course, the popularity of Weiqi grew, of Go grew, and then it went from China to Japan around the 7th or 8th century, which would be the 800s or the 900s there, which was, about 1,000 years ago?
Long time.
Long time. So just as in China, it was especially enjoyed by the nobility, which would be, of course, the nobles, the important people, the emperors and their family and stuff like that, all the major people in the government who were better than everybody else. And they loved this game because I guess it made you look like you were really cool, really smart.
Now, there were also warlords, and they played as though their pieces were soldiers on the battlefield, thus sharpening their battle skills. You could actually increase your ability to be a military commander by playing Weiqi because it's all about strategy and about encircling the enemy, Wei is surrounding, right? Surrounding an area. So these warlords, the military commanders they had back then who were trying to, invade other people's lands and take it, they actually used the game as training. So they could become better experts at strategy on the battlefield, how to win more battles.
Yeah, I wonder if Swinza mentioned this game in his book about the art of war.
Yeah.
Maybe it was useful. So, yes, warlords are people who were in charge of various places and controlled troops were using this as a kind of training. Who knows? Now, the greatest players were rewarded with money, and special schools were set up to train players for national tournaments, which I believe exist nowadays. I have heard of schools that actually train you for national competitions in Go or Weiqi.
Wow.
And from Japan, Go spread to the Western world, and professional competitions are now held in several countries. Yes, Go is known in Western countries, and it is recognized as a game that is very challenging to play. I think most people agree that Go is even more challenging than Western chess. So that's why lots of people will choose to play that game, Go, because it's more challenging. And, of course, they join these competitions, which are, contests where people get together to see who can win. It seems like some guy from Korea was always winning these competitions. I'm not quite sure. I never really heard of any Western players being that good. They're always from here.
Yeah, I read about a survey they did in 2016, and there are 75 member nations around the world that participate in this International Go Federation. They think there are over 46 million people around the world who know how to play Go. Over 20 million of the current players are located here in East Asia. That's where we are. currently, I'm not surprised about that. So, yeah, they take it pretty seriously. It's a lot of people who are playing this one particular game. And like Tom said, there are professional competitions that are held in several countries. So if you want to learn how to play Go and you're living in Taiwan, you're in a good place to learn how to play. So I'm sure there are a lot of people who are experts in our country who could teach you some of the strategies that are used. You have to have a good mind. You have to have skills of observation and strategy. There's no random chance in this game. It's all about strategy. It's not luck.
Well, it does sound challenging, but I think I'll just stick with a simple game of Wuzichi. I have trouble beating my wife and daughter playing that all the time, so that's enough of a challenge for me. But it's fun, and you can use the same board and the same pieces. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
好，我们继续来看。接下来就说到围棋的历史。在西元前2300年就已经有所谓的围棋这种游戏，而尧他发明这个游戏到底为什么呢？ He is said to have devised the game. 注意到据说这个讲法，据说啊，照理来说这个主词应该是人说什么事，但是当我们翻成据说，谁讲反而不重要了。所以英文的结构里面，如果你讲 people say that blah blah blah， 当然是一样的意思。要不你就用 it is said that blah blah blah， 也就是一件事情是被这样说，被传被说，但是我们看这一边的结构，这个结构呢是用 he 当主词。好，的确，当你谈据说，除了用 people say blah blah blah, it said that blah 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 之外，你也可以把这个据说里头说的事情本身的主角往前移，像这里 he is said to have devised。写这个句构要特别注意，这个不定词 to 后面加完成，它的含义是什么？它其实就表示，因为发明的时间是以前，所以你在不定词后面要表示这个时间是以前发明的，你要用 have 再加 pp。好，我们谈到围棋，它以前是这样子开始的。我们记得开始说它是一个 noble game。没错，当然贵族们很喜欢，像在日本，贵族玩围棋跟在中国是一样的。而你要知道，那些军阀也好，他们玩围棋、下围棋，就好像感觉是在战场上，把这些围棋当作战场上的士兵来看待。所以下围棋感觉就像是在研究战略。我们看到As though 这个片语，有时候呢，我们来看到，它的中文翻译我们会翻成宛如，好像，意思就是说，就像是这个事情可能不是如此哦，可是感觉好像是什么，所以这个用法它比较特别的是，它有时候会跟假设语气连用，但是也不尽然。如果你觉得哇，它简直就像真的，那不一定要考虑用假设语气。那我们来看到了这样子的围棋的历史，可以发现这个比赛为什么今天这么重要。我们讲解就到这边结束，我们下次见。
That brings us to the end of today's lesson. Thank you so much for joining us, and please join us again next time when we continue to talk about the noble game of Go. Do join us then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Bye.
See ya.